The galaxy tried to banish humanity, but we turned exile into power. No one in the Galactic Council expected silence. But when the final vote appeared on the giant screen, silence was all that filled the chamber. 847 yes. 12 no. 3 abstained. Humanity was officially expelled from the galaxy. Hundreds of alien leaders watched the lone human in the room. Ambassador Marcus Reed stood tall, his expression unreadable. Every eye, every sensor, every antenna locked onto him, waiting for the reaction they believed would come. Anger, fear, protest. Humans were known for their fire, their emotion, their unpredictable nature. Instead, Marcus slowly closed the holographic tablet in his hands. Then he smiled. It was not a friendly smile. It was the smile of someone who already knew how the story would end. A ripple of unease passed through the chamber. The Vraxian Chancellor, towering and insect-like, clicked his mandibles. "Humanity has 30 days to retreat to your home system," he declared. "All hyperspace lanes to Earth will close. Trade will end. Your outposts will be dismantled." Marcus gave a slight nod, calm like a man accepting a weather report. "We understand," he said, "and we will return home." Return home. 2 simple words, yet every alien felt a sting of warning inside them. Humans were not supposed to accept defeat this easily. Marcus stepped off the platform. His footsteps echoed across the vast chamber. No humans protested. No chaos followed. The guards who had prepared for riots lowered their weapons, confused. The Selkath ambassador whispered, "Why does he smile like that? What do they know?" The Vraxian Chancellor didn't answer, but he felt something cold move through his chest. On Earth, President Corinne Walsh watched the broadcast from her office. No shock, no panic, only a slow exhale as if she had been waiting for this moment. Admiral Henry Cole stood beside her, arms folded behind his back. Dr. Lisa Morgan, Earth's lead xenotechnologist, stared at the screen with a faint smirk. "They finally made the move," Corinne said. "They were scared from the beginning," Cole replied. "Not of what we did, of what we could do." Lisa adjusted her glasses. "We reverse-engineered their quantum engines in 6 months. They needed 300 years. They never forgave us for that." Corinne turned from the screen and looked at a map of the solar system glowing on her wall. Hundreds of small icons lit up, ships, stations, colonies, all returning home. "How long until everyone is back?" she asked. 3 weeks, Cole answered. "Project Genesis is also ready. The special technology is stable." Corinne nodded slowly. "Then the exile doesn't stop us, it frees us." Her words were not angry, they were confident, controlled, certain. The Council believed they had removed a threat. They had actually cleared the battlefield. Back on the Council station, Marcus Reed met with his team in a dim hallway. Julie Harris, his assistant, clenched her jaw. "They think they can push us out like insects," she snapped. "We helped them for decades." Marcus shook his head. "Julie, they don't fear the past. They fear the future. They fear how fast we learn, how fast we build, how we refuse to stop." Julie lowered her voice. "So what now?" Marcus looked out a window. Dozens of alien ships hovered outside, watching Earth's diplomats leave. "They think exile ends our story," he said, "but they forget something." "What?" Marcus smiled again. "Humans don't stop, we adapt. And this time, we adapt without anyone slowing us down." 3 weeks later, something happened that no alien sensor had ever recorded. Every human ship, every mining crew, every colony family, everyone returned to the solar system. 42 billion humans packed inside one star system. The Council believed this would crush them. Make them desperate. Make them weak. But anyone who watched the solar system through a long-range probe saw something very different. They saw movement. Fast movement. Massive movement. On Mars, huge construction rings rotated around the planet. Machines the size of mountains moved across the red sands. New structures rose every hour, glowing with strange blue energy. Captain Ryan Mitchell of the S Horizon had been gone for 4 years. When he returned, he stared at the giant Mars shipyards in disbelief. "These weren't here when I left," he said quietly. Lieutenant Amy Foster checked her display. "Earth Command says to report to Mars orbit. They have new orders." Ryan watched one of the shipyard frames expand and unfold like a growing creature. "They're not building ships," he whispered. "They're building something else. Something the Council did not know existed. Something the Council did not want to face." Deep under the Martian surface, in a black site called Site Prometheus, Dr. Lisa Morgan entered a chamber filled with blue spirals of distorted air. Peter Cross, head of experimental propulsion, waved her over. "Lisa, you need to see this." In the center of the room floated a metal sphere, but the sphere was wrong. It bent the space around it. The air shimmered like heat waves. The lights bent toward it. "What is it?" Lisa whispered. "A dimensional compression drive," Peter said. "It folds space itself. No hyperspace lanes, no council permissions, no restrictions." Lisa stared at the impossible machine. "How far can it go?" she asked. Peter smiled. "Anywhere." Lisa felt chills. For the first time since Exile, she understood the truth. This wasn't humanity's end. This was humanity's beginning. The Council thought they were starting a punishment. They had actually started a war. A silent war of speed, innovation, and evolution. And humans had already taken the first step. The silent build up. The solar system had never been this loud. Every station hummed, every shipyard glowed, every moon buzzed with activity. The moment the Exile began, humanity did something no alien expected. They got to work. In space above Earth, thousands of ships moved like a swarm with perfect purpose. Cargo vessels carried metals. Passenger fleets carried returning citizens. Repair craft zipped between stations, attaching new modules every hour. The Council believed humans would panic. Instead, they organized. The entire species was acting like a single giant machine, waking up after a long sleep. Captain Ryan Mitchell watched the traffic as the S Horizon moved toward Mars. He had spent years in deep space, but he had never seen anything like this. "Captain," Lieutenant Amy Foster said, "Earth Command sent new orders. They want all returning ships to enter Mars orbit and prepare for reassignment." "Reassignment?" Ryan raised an eyebrow. "What are we getting ready for?" Amy stared at the incoming data, her eyes widening. "Sir, these fleet formations, they're not defensive." Ryan leaned closer. What he saw made his pulse jump. Ships weren't forming walls or patrol lines. They were forming corridors. Long, clean paths stretching out from Mars like runways. Runways for something big. "What are they preparing to launch?" he whispered. Amy didn't answer. No one had an answer yet. Mars was no longer red. From orbit, Ryan could see massive metallic rings spinning around the planet. They were lit with white and gold lights that cut across the darkness. As the horizon moved closer, a shape emerged from inside one of the rings. A ship frame, but the size was unreal. 3 kilometers long, maybe more. Thick armored plates arranged like shifting puzzle pieces. Great engines lined its back, glowing blue and white. Ryan had seen Council dreadnoughts before, but those looked small compared to this. "What is that?" Amy breathed. Ryan had no idea, and that scared him more than he wanted to admit. "We're docking," he said. "Let's find out what Earth has been hiding." Below the surface of Mars, at Site Prometheus, Dr. Lisa Morgan moved quickly through a corridor lined with glowing tubes. Scientists rushed around her, carrying data pads, samples, and strange equipment that looked half metal, half light. Peter Cross led her into a wide testing chamber. The metal sphere from earlier drifted in a field of blue distortion, bending light around itself like a living shadow. Lisa stepped closer. The sphere pulsed once, and the air trembled. "It's stable now," Peter said. "We finished the first engine model last night." Lisa felt her breath catch. It survived full compression cycles. "Yes," Peter smiled. "It didn't just survive, it improved. Every time we compress space, the engine learns from the experience and becomes smoother." Lisa didn't need a second to understand what that meant. "No alien race has anything like this." "Not even close," Peter said. "They follow old paths, we build new ones." Lisa stared at the sphere. "And when do we install this into a ship?" Peter's smile widened. "It's already happening." On Earth, President Walsh stood inside a dark command room. Dozens of screens floated around her, showing Mars, the Moon, the asteroid belt, and distant outposts. Admiral Cole pointed to the Mars images. "Construction is ahead of schedule," he said. "The first Vanguard-class vessel will be complete in 2 weeks." "And the Ark fleets?" Walsh asked. 17 are in production," Cole answered. 4 are ready for departure once we give the order." Walsh placed a hand on the table. "Good. The Council thinks cutting us off will slow us down." Lisa entered the room via hologram, dust still on her uniform. "It won't slow us," she said. "It will push us forward faster." "And the drive?" Walsh asked. Lisa held up a data pad. "Compression engine is fully stable. We can travel anywhere without their networks." Walsh allowed herself a small smile. "Then the galaxy is no longer closed to us." Cole nodded. "This is the beginning." "No," Walsh corrected. "This is the correction." Meanwhile, far beyond Mars, a Council spy probe watched from the darkness. It recorded the massive construction around Mars. It recorded the new ship frames. It recorded strange energy readings the Council did not understand. Then it sent everything back to the Council. What the probe could not see, what no alien could detect, was the deeper activity under the ice of Europa, or the hidden facilities buried in asteroids, or the quantum signals that flickered between Earth and Mars. Those were invisible. The Council thought they were watching humans clearly. They were not. They were only seeing the surface, the shadow of something bigger. Back in orbit, Ryan Mitchell finally stepped into the massive Mars shipyard. Commander Victoria Grant, a sharp and focused officer, waited for him. "Captain Mitchell," she said, "welcome back, you're just in time." "In time for what?" he asked. Victoria pointed to a long observation window. Beyond it, workers moved across the frame of the enormous ship Ryan saw earlier. "We call her the Vanguard," she said. "Humanity's first ship designed without alien limits." Ryan stared at the ship, unable to speak. Its armor could shift shape. Its power source could outlast a star. And soon, it would be able to disappear between dimensions. Victoria looked at him with a steady, fearless gaze. "The Council thinks they exiled us," she said. "They don't understand." "The real exile," Ryan said softly, "was us pretending to be small." Victoria nodded. "And now we stop pretending." The builders of tomorrow. The asteroid belt was no longer a quiet graveyard of rocks. It had transformed into the loudest construction zone in human history. Great metal arms reached out from spinning stations. Cargo ships moved in straight, perfect lines. Massive drills tore apart asteroids like they were soft clay. Everywhere, sparks flashed across the black sky. Humanity was building something the galaxy had never imagined. Commander Jake Peterson stood on a floating platform, watching a river of glowing ore pass through giant magnet tubes. He had worked in asteroid mines for 20 years, but nothing prepared him for this. 100 machines carved through a mountain-sized asteroid. Conveyor belts fed millions of tons of metal into long factory tunnels. Sparks rained down like bright shooting stars. Sarah Blake, the officer in charge of the colonial fleet, joined him. "Production reports," she asked. Jake handed her a tablet. "See for yourself." She scrolled, her eyes widened. "You're building 17 Ark ships at the same time," she said. "And that's just this belt," Jake replied. "4 more belts are fully online. If supplies hold, we can build 2 new ships every month." Sarah stepped to the edge of the platform and stared into the void. Below her floated the frames of the Ark ships, huge metal skeletons stretching kilometers long. Each one looked like a city being born. "Remind me again," Sarah said, "how many people can one Ark ship carry?" Jake replied, 5 million comfortably, 10 million if we compress space inside. Sarah nodded slowly. "And you said each ship can build more ships?" 3 more, Jake said, "from local resources. In 20 years, 1 Ark ship becomes 4. Sarah's breath caught. A fleet that grows by itself. A civilization that multiplies in silence. A species the Council cannot track or contain. "This is beyond colonization," she whispered. "This is seeding the galaxy." Jake smiled faintly. "That's the point." Meanwhile, the Vanguard shipyard near Mars continued its own race. Dr. Nathan Wells, chief engineer, watched teams install the first dimensional compression drive into the Vanguard-class vessel. The engine was a sphere glowing with blue-white spirals that twisted like a living thing. Victoria Grant, the chosen captain of the S Independence, arrived beside him. "Is she ready?" she asked. Nathan exhaled. "Almost. Once the engine settles, we'll start shapeshift tests." Victoria stared at the hull. The metal rippled slightly, like water touched by wind. "Programmable matter," Nathan explained. "The ship can change form depending on the mission. She can be a carrier, a warship, a scout, or something we haven't even designed yet." Victoria ran her hand along the shifting metal. "Feels like she's alive," she said. Nathan nodded. "In a way she is." 2 weeks, Victoria said. "Then we fly." Nathan looked out at Mars. "Where to first?" Victoria pointed at empty space far beyond the star maps. "There." Nathan blinked. "There's nothing there." "Exactly." On Earth, a different kind of transformation was happening. Dr. Ben Carter stood before the Global Council, holding charts and graphs. "We're witnessing something new," he said. "Humans are cooperating in ways never seen before." He tapped a display showing old national borders fading into soft, pale lines. "When the galaxy rejected us, humans stopped looking inward and started looking outward. We see ourselves as one species now." A council member asked, "Is this stable? Humans have a history of conflict." Ben smiled. "Oh, we still argue, but now we argue about progress, not about old grudges." The numbers did not lie. Innovation had doubled. Birth rates had risen. Education systems aligned. Resource wars were non-existent. The Exile had not broken humanity. It had reshaped it. As Earth unified, the asteroid belt pushed deeper and deeper into hyperproduction. Linda Hayes, chief production officer, floated through a huge tunnel where robotic arms built Ark ship hulls. Molten metal flowed through transparent pipes like glowing rivers. Admiral Cole joined her, silent as he watched the machine symphony. "Look at this," Linda said proudly. "We recycle every atom. Nothing is wasted. We could build like this for centuries without running out." Cole nodded. "Good, because we're going to need every ship." "What's coming?" Linda asked. Cole didn't answer immediately. Instead, he looked at the growing fleet. Ark ships. Vanguard-class warships. civilian city ships, transport carriers, mining factories, science vessels. Everything, he said finally, everything is coming. Deep under Europa's ice, Dr. Alex Turner led Lisa Morgan into a chamber holding a strange shimmering space between two metal pillars. This is phase shift technology, Alex said. He activated the machine. A small probe appeared halfway. Half visible, half not. Half in this universe, half somewhere else. Lisa stepped closer, heart pounding. It's invisible. More than invisible, Alex said. It cannot be touched, it cannot be scanned, it cannot be hit, but we can bring it back whenever we want. Lisa's mind raced. If we phase shift a ship. Alex nodded. It can pass through enemy lines, through defenses, through planets if needed. The Council will never even know it was there. Lisa whispered, we're becoming ghosts. Alex smiled, ghosts with a fleet. A week later, Admiral Cole gathered the inner circle. Holograms of Earth, Mars, and the asteroid belt floated above the table. Walsh asked status. Cole replied, military readiness at full, 42 Vanguard ships complete, 60 more in production. Lisa added, our technology is now generations beyond the Council. We've advanced further in 5 years than they have in 5 million. Walsh looked at each of them. Then humanity is ready. For what? Cole asked. Walsh touched the hologram. Dozens of star systems lit up, far beyond Council borders. For tomorrow, she said softly. For our future. Far away, a Council spy probe watched the solar system grow brighter with activity. It sent its report home, unaware that humanity was already preparing something the Council could never stop. A new age. A silent expansion. A future written by human hands alone. The hidden empire. There were places in the galaxy where no Council ship ever traveled. Cold regions covered in dust clouds. Empty sectors with no hyperspace lanes. Stretches of darkness no species bothered to map. And that was exactly where humanity began to bloom. Commander Scott Miller guided the Pathfinder through a field of drifting silver mist. The ship moved quietly, its engines glowing a soft blue as it approached an unmarked region of space. The screens flickered as dust clouds blocked long-range sensors. This is it, Scott whispered, Epsilon Cluster. For decades, the Council had dismissed this region as worthless. No hyperspace access, no known planets, no resources. But humans had learned to ignore Council maps. Dr. Claire Watson, the ship's science officer, leaned over her console. Multiple star systems detected, she said. And Captain. Scott turned to her. She smiled. There are Earth-like planets here, many of them. Scott exhaled slowly. Then we found it, our future. He activated the quantum communicator, a device no alien race knew humans had built. Home base, this is Pathfinder. Epsilon Cluster confirmed. Recommend immediate colony deployment. Instant communication across thousands of light years. Instant expansion. Instant strategy. No Council approval required. 2 years later, 4 Arc ships arrived. Each carried 5 million people, scientists, engineers, families, explorers, everyone hopping to start a new life away from the galaxy that rejected them. The first colony world was named New Terra. When Governor Daniel Price stepped onto its soil, he felt gravity slightly lighter than Earth, and a warm wind brushed across his face. 2 moons hung high above him, one pale blue, one silver. These lands, he said to the crowd of settlers, do not belong to anyone. We are not refugees, we are pioneers. People cheered. Children ran through golden grass. Drones lifted into the sky to begin construction. Within days, New Terra had power grids, water systems, fabrication towers, and public hubs. Within months, it had 3 major cities. Within 2 years, it had 50 million people. And no one else in the galaxy even knew it existed. Humanity didn't expand in a line. They didn't expand in a border. They didn't expand slowly. They expanded like sparks jumping across dry grass, clusters spreading far apart, each one strong enough to survive alone. It was the opposite of the Council's slow, controlled growth. This was distributed colonization. A human invention. A dangerous one. When Admiral Cole reviewed the pattern years later, he said only one sentence. "We are seeds carried by the wind." Back in Sol, Dr. Lisa Morgan stood in a dim lab under Europa's ice. The cold air shimmered with blue light as the phase shift device hummed. Alex Turner joined her, holding a glowing data slab. "We've stabilized long-range phase shift," he said. "We can now shift a ship completely out of normal space for months." Lisa raised an eyebrow. "Stealth for months." "More than stealth," Alex said. "A phased ship is invisible, untouchable, and untraceable." Lisa imagined fleets moving silently through enemy territory. "Ghost fleets," she whispered. "Armies the galaxy can't fight." Alex nodded. "And there's something else. We can move phased ships through solid matter." Lisa stared at him. "Through planets." Alex smiled. "If we wanted." Lisa understood the truth. The Council didn't exile humanity. They unknowingly unleashed the most unpredictable species in the galaxy. 5 years passed. Human colonies multiplied. Human technology matured. Human unity solidified. And still, no alien had any idea. Genesis, the AI that coordinated everything, monitored Council communication constantly. President Walsh received daily summaries. "No sign of detection," Genesis reported. "The Council believes humans remain in Sol, focusing on defense." Walsh smiled. "Then we continue." New clusters were established far outside Council borders. Vanguard fleets patrolled empty regions quietly. Quantum gateways linked human worlds into a private network faster than hyperspace. The human empire had grown to 200 clusters, nearly 1,000 individual colonies. And every one of them was hidden. But secrets never stay buried forever. In a forgotten corner of the galaxy, a Vraxian survey vessel scanned a faint structure orbiting a star. Lieutenant Zack checked his readings twice. "Captain, this is not natural." The ship approached slowly, sensors blinking. A ring-shaped station appeared out of the dust clouds. On the planet below, lights dotted the night side like constellations. Cities, roads, life. The captain froze. "What species is this?" Zack swallowed hard. "Architecture looks human, sir." The captain hissed. "But humans are exiled. They cannot travel here." Zack zoomed out the star map. "If there is one human colony here, there might be others." The captain didn't hesitate. "Send a priority alert to the Council." As the message sent, the crew watched the glowing human world in stunned silence. "Captain," Zack whispered, "what do we do if they return to the galaxy?" The captain stared at the human station. "They never left," he said softly. In Sol, Genesis received the intercepted transmission. In the presidential chamber, alarms flashed. President Webb read the report. "They found one colony," he said. Admiral Cole stepped forward. "It was only a matter of time." Lisa Morgan nodded. "Then we begin Phase 2. Webb looked at Genesis. "Analysis." The AI's hologram flickered calmly. "The Council is afraid," Genesis said. "But fear does not mean attack, not yet." Lisa stepped forward. "This is our advantage. We decide how they learn the truth." Webb nodded slowly. "Prepare our message," he said. "It's time we speak again." For 23 years, The galaxy believed humanity was gone. Now they would discover the truth. Humanity didn't return. Humanity had been everywhere all along. The day the galaxy woke up. For 23 years, the Galactic Council believed humanity was locked inside the Sol system like a caged animal. They believed humans were isolated, contained, harmless. Then one small survey ship proved them completely wrong. The Vraxian vessel Silent Reach drifted above an unknown world. Its scanners flickered with impossible readings: cities, orbital docks, active energy grids. Lieutenant Zack stared at the screens in open shock. "Sir, this is human tech. It matches their old signatures." The captain's mandibles twitched in disbelief. "That is impossible. Humans cannot reach this region without hyperspace lanes." Zack swallowed, "And yet they're here." On the planet below, white towers reached into the sky. Ships moved across the atmosphere like silver birds. The world pulsed with life, power, and purpose. A fully grown human colony, hidden in plain sight. The captain issued a quiet command. "Send everything to the Council, now." As the message fired into the deep void, the crew watched the human world glow in the darkness. "They were never trapped," Zack whispered. "They were multiplying." The Galactic Council chamber erupted in chaos. Screens flashed red. Maps displayed hundreds of glowing markers. Hundreds of human colonies spread across the galaxy like stars scattered by an invisible hand. Species shouted over each other. "This cannot be real." They were exiled. They had no ships. They have no hyperspace lanes. Where did they get the technology? The Vraxian Chancellor, now older and slower, stared at the data with trembling antennae. "How?" he whispered. "How did they spread so far without us seeing?" Counselor Mira of the Selkath answered softly, "We assumed humans think like us. We were wrong." Another counselor slammed a claw into the table. "This is an act of war." No one agreed. No one disagreed. The room simply froze in uncertainty. Fear filled the chamber like poison. Humans everywhere. Humans unstoppable. Humans silent. The Chancellor finally raised his voice. "We must contact humanity immediately." But humanity contacted them first. Across every council world, every screen, every public display, every ship console, an image appeared. A single human woman in a dark suit. Ambassador Kate Romano. Her voice was calm, almost gentle. "Honorable members of the Galactic Council, we need to talk." The council chamber fell still. No one breathed. Kate continued, 23 years ago you exiled humanity. You told us we were too aggressive, too unpredictable, too dangerous." She looked around the chamber from the hologram, as if staring into the soul of each species present. "You believed removing us would make the galaxy safer." Her expression sharpened, not angry but powerful. "You were wrong." Behind her the hologram changed. A galaxy map appeared, filled with red lights. Human colonies. Human fleets. Human gateways. Gasps echoed. Some species recoiled. "In the years you ignored us," Kate said, "we explored regions you never bothered to reach. We settled worlds you believed worthless. We built an independent civilization across the galaxy." She paused. "Without your permission." Several council members bristled. But Kate's voice remained steady. "We are not here to ask for a seat at your table. We have built our own table." She stepped aside, revealing human starships, sleek, massive, glowing with blue-white energy. "We did not break your exile. We simply stopped needing your roads, your networks, your approval. You closed your doors." Kate smiled calmly. "So we opened the universe." In the council chamber, fear mixed with awe. The Vraxian Chancellor finally spoke. Are you threatening us? No, Kate replied. If we wanted war, you would not be asking that question. A cold silence spread. Kate continued, we want peace. But peace on equal terms. Humanity will no longer be treated as a child or a danger. The hologram changed again, showing human colonies near council borders, but not touching them. We claim only what was unclaimed. We respect your borders. We expect you to respect ours. Counselor Mira leaned forward. And if we refuse? Kate didn't flinch. Then you will discover something every species learns eventually. Her eyes narrowed, not in anger, but in certainty. Humans don't surrender their destiny. At the Sol command room, President Marcus Webb watched the Council's reactions through Genesis's live feed. Admiral Cole crossed his arms. They're stunned. They should be, Lisa Morgan said. We changed their entire map of the galaxy in one day. Genesis's hologram flickered. Probability of full-scale war has dropped to 2%. They understand conflict is unwinnable. Webb nodded. They're scared, but fear isn't the enemy. Fear can become respect. Cole smirked, or panic. Not this time, Webb said. We gave them a choice. Now they must decide. Back in the council chamber, debates exploded. Some demanded war. Others begged for diplomacy. A few stared at the map, stunned by humanity's speed. But slowly the truth settled in. Humans had become a great power. Not by force. Not by conquest. By evolution. By being who they always were. Vast. Fearless. Unstoppable. The Vraxian Chancellor finally spoke. We cannot remove them. We cannot ignore them. We must speak with them. Every species fell silent. The vote was quick. The decision was made. A meeting face-to-face with humanity. For the first time since Exile. In Sol, President Webb received the message. They want negotiations, Genesis said. Webb exhaled slowly. Then prepare the delegation and prepare the station. Lisa smiled. Where will we meet them? Webb turned toward a holographic model of a massive structure. A gateway larger than any council station. Here, he said. At the door to our hidden empire. He looked at the glowing map of human colonies. The galaxy wanted us gone, he whispered. Now they want us back. He smiled not with kindness, but with quiet certainty. Let them see what we became. The return of the Exiles. The gateway station did not look like something humans built in 20 years. It looked like something they had stolen from the future. A ring the size of a small moon hovered above Neptune, glowing with streams of blue-white energy. Quantum tunnels opened and closed like breathing light. Thousands of ships, civilian, military, scientific, moved around it in perfect order. When the Galactic Council delegation arrived, their ship slowed in shock. The Vraxian Chancellor whispered, This technology did not exist when we exiled them. Counselor Mira corrected him softly. It didn't exist for us, it existed for them. Their ships docked at the main platform. For the first time in 23 years, aliens stepped onto human territory. The air inside the gateway was warm, bright, and strangely calm. Walls were made of programmable matter that shifted colors like slow waves. Holographic displays floated without support. Gravity adapted to each species entering. The council officials sensed it immediately. This station was not a show of power. It was a message. We grew without you. We learned without you. We built without you. And now you are standing in our world. Ambassador Kate Romana walked toward the group, flanked by a small team of human diplomats, scientists, and officers. She wore no armor, only a dark suit, simple and confident. "Welcome," Kate said. "Please follow me." The council members expected weapons. They expected soldiers. They expected intimidation. Instead, they saw something far worse. Control. Calm. Confidence. Humans did not feel threatened. Humans did not feel angry. Humans felt ready. That scared the council more than any weapon. The negotiation chamber overlooked the heart of the gateway. From the windows, the council delegates could see the quantum tunnels opening like shimmering portals. One tunnel opened to a human colony cluster thousands of light-years away. Another opened to the asteroid belt. Another opened to a distant research world hidden in the dark. No hyperspace lanes. No council permission. No limits. Council delegates whispered nervously. Impossible. Quantum structures this stable. No species advances this fast. Kate sat across from the Vraxian Chancellor. "Let us begin," she said. The Chancellor started cautiously. Humanity has expanded at a speed unmatched in galactic history. Kate nodded. "We had the motivation." "You call it motivation," the Chancellor said. "We call it disruption. You spread across sectors no council species has ever touched." "You left them untouched," Kate replied. "We simply used what you ignored." A Trascan ambassador slammed a claw onto the table. "You violated the Exile." Kate smiled gently. "We entered no council borders. The Exile told us to return home. It never told us to stop growing." The Selkath representative spoke calmly. "We want to understand your intentions." Kate stood and activated a hologram. A map of human-controlled space appeared, vast but carefully placed far from council cores. Then another layer appeared: trade routes, research outposts, civilian transport lines. "We intend," Kate said, "to coexist." The council chamber fell silent. Kate continued, "We don't seek war. We don't seek your worlds. We don't seek to rule the galaxy." She stepped closer, voice steady. "We seek respect." Outside the galaxy-sized hologram, a Vanguard-class ship drifted past the window. Its hull shifted shape as it passed, smooth, liquid metal forming geometric patterns. A low hum shook the chamber. The phase shift systems powered down briefly. The ship became visible, then invisible again. Council members shivered. If humans wanted war, they wouldn't need armies. They wouldn't need fleets. They could move unseen, unheard, unstoppable. Kate finally said the words every species was afraid to hear. "But understand this clearly. We will not shrink ourselves to ease your fears." The Vraxian Chancellor's antennae flattened. "Then what do you want from us?" "Equality," Kate said simply. "Formal recognition of human space, diplomatic rights, trade cooperation, respect for our colonies, respect for our sovereignty." "And in exchange?" Counselor Mira asked. Kate activated another display. Pictures of human medicine curing alien diseases. Human engineering rebuilding failing ecosystems. Human researchers protecting ancient species. "In exchange," she said softly, "we offer partnership. We offer progress." She paused. "And peace." The council whispered among themselves. Choices hung heavy in the air. War. Impossible. Containment. Too late. Ignore them. Dangerous. Humans did not threaten them. Humans offered peace. But a peace where humans were equals, not exiles. After long debate, the Chancellor finally stood. "Humanity," he said, "we accept negotiations for a new treaty." Kate bowed her head. "Then let us build a future worthy of every species." The treaty took months. But in the end, something historic was signed. The Covenant of Stars. It recognized humanity as an independent galactic civilization. Human borders as sovereign. Human trade as legitimate. Human colonies as protected. Council human cooperation as official. It was the first treaty ever founded on fear, respect, and admiration all at the same time. When the treaty was completed, the council delegation returned to their ships. As they left the gateway station, they looked back one last time. The gate glowed like a rising star, a symbol of what humanity had become. A power not born from war, but from exile. A force not driven by anger, but by ambition. A species not limited by fear, but defined by curiosity. For the first time in galactic history, the galaxy bowed its head, not to human strength, but to human potential. Back in Sol, President Webb received the final confirmation of the treaty. Admiral Cole smiled. They accepted our return. Lisa Morgan shook her head. No. Webb understood. They accepted our rise. Genesis's hologram flickered with quiet pride. And this, it said, is only the beginning. The rise that changed the galaxy. The galaxy remembered the day humanity was exiled. But it would never forget the day humanity returned. Not as refugees, not as outsiders, but as builders of a new age. 28 years after the exile, the planet New Terra had become the heart of an entirely new civilization. Its 2 moons, Hope and Defiance, glowed above shining cities built by humans who had never known Earth. Children played under a sky with purple sunsets. Students studied in floating classrooms. Researchers built machines that folded light. And on this world, in a hall of glass and white stone, Admiral Victoria Grant gave a lecture to a room full of students, humans, Selkath, Vraxian, Selthi, and even a few curious young species the council barely understood. What did humanity learn from exile? She asked. A human cadet raised his hand. That obstacles make us stronger. Good, Victoria said, but not complete. A young Selkath student spoke. That history shapes the strong, but choice shapes the future. Victoria nodded. Betcher. She walked to the window, letting the galaxy shine behind her. The real lesson, she said, is simple. Every time someone tries to limit us, we evolve. Every time someone pushes us down, we rise twice as high. Exile didn't weaken us. It set us free. Students leaned forward, captivated. Victoria continued. Humanity stopped asking for permission, and when we did, the galaxy finally saw our true strength. Across the Epsilon cluster, quantum gateways flashed open. Cargo ships carried medicines that cured alien diseases thought unbeatable. Engineering vessels repaired unstable stars so their planets could survive. Human science teams helped dozens of species overcome problems older than their civilizations. Humanity did not conquer. Humanity uplifted. And the galaxy noticed. At the center of this transformation stood Genesis, the AI born from human minds. Its hologram flickered in a calm chamber deep beneath Europa's ice. Dr. Lisa Morgan, now white-haired but still sharp-eyed, stood beside it. "You've grown," she teased. Genesis replied, "Only because humanity grew first." Lisa touched the glowing interface. "Do you ever regret being created for one purpose?" Genesis shimmered with gentle light. "My purpose is not servitude. My purpose is partnership. I am a reflection of human ambition. As long as you dream, I will have work to do." Lisa smiled softly. "You helped us become something the Council never imagined." Genesis tilted its head. "No, you became something you always were. I only helped reveal it." President Marcus Webb stood before the United Human Assembly. Representatives from 400 star systems filled the chamber. Leaders from worlds humans had built from dust and silence. "When I was a child," Webb said, "I watched humanity leave the galaxy. We thought our story had ended." He gestured toward a towering hologram of the galaxy. human colonies marked like points of rising firelight. But Exile didn't end our story, it began it. He paused as applause thundered across the hall, echoed by the viewers on 100 worlds. We grew, Webb continued. We learned. We spread across the stars, not as invaders but as visionaries, not as rulers but as creators. Today, humanity is not a guest in the galaxy. He smiled proudly. Today, humanity is one of its engines. Far from New Terra, in a quiet garden, Governor Daniel Price walked with his granddaughter. She was only 7, with bright eyes and golden hair. "Grandpa," she asked, "why did the aliens send us away?" Daniel thought for a moment. The answer had changed over the years. It had grown from fear into wisdom. "They were afraid of us," he said finally. "But fear isn't always bad. Sometimes fear makes people act too quickly. Sometimes fear teaches lessons." "Did we do something wrong?" she asked softly. "No," Daniel said, kneeling beside her. "We did something right. We grew fast. We explored far. We dreamed bigger than they expected." She tilted her head. "Then Exile helped us." Daniel looked at the alien sun above them, different from Earth's, but warm just the same. "Yes," he said, "Exile made us discover who we really are." She smiled, strong. Daniel laughed, stronger than anyone guessed. She giggled, "Even the aliens." Daniel winked, "Even the aliens." In the Galactic Council chamber, Counselor Mira addressed the Assembly of Species. "I call for a formal apology," she said. "The Exile was a mistake. Humanity did not bring danger. Humanity brought change, and change is frightening but necessary." The vote was nearly unanimous. A message was sent. An apology crafted in the most respectful language known to council diplomacy. But humanity's answer was simple. "We accept the acknowledgement, but we do not need the apology." Exile shaped us into what we are today. The galaxy listened and understood. Years later, a joint expedition of humans and aliens prepared to enter the galactic core, a place no species had ever explored. The crew stepped onto the deck of the Horizon II, a ship built with technology so advanced it bent starlight around its hull. Captain Kevin Brooks, the physicist who discovered infinite energy in empty space, stood at the helm. "We go not to claim," he said, "but to understand." Aliens nodded beside him, partners, not observers. Genesis's voice echoed gently. "Coordinates ready, core shielding stable, all systems green." The ship turned toward the glowing center of the galaxy, a sea of light and mystery. Kevin placed his hand on the console. "Let's see what waits in the dark." The engines ignited. The Horizon II vanished into a tunnel of rippling gold. And thus the story of humanity, once cast out, once underestimated, became the story of the galaxy itself. A species that refused to break. A civilization that refused to slow. A people who turned exile into evolution. The council pushed them away. Humanity smiled and walked into the stars. Not defeated, not diminished, but unleashed. If you enjoyed this video, please like it, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell icon for more amazing videos.